Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of the podcast. It's episode 120.
120.
Very exciting.
60 more and I can do that properly.
Yeah.
That's a whole year. Jeez.
What?
60 more is more than like a year's worth.
Yes, okay. So today, we've not got a particular theme for the episode, have we?
No, we're just going to do a news roundup as we like to do.
Yeah. But as you've heard, I am joined by my lovely wife.
That's me.
It is. I think that was obvious. So there's been a couple of things in the news that we figured we would talk about in the news. One of them was actually in the news.
Yeah, it genuinely was. And the number of people who messaged me going, I just heard this on the radio, or I've just seen this in the news, and it might make an interesting podcast episode. So thank you to all of those people. And we are going to discuss it.
Yes.
What is it?
So it's that Lego have given up on their attempt to use recyclable or recycled PET plastic to make Lego bricks.
Yeah, and PET is the plastic that is used in plastic bottles.
Yes.
And other things, I would...
Yeah, it's used in a bunch of things. It's the more common type of plastic that ends up in recycling.
Right.
So that's the point of it. There's a lot of excess PET plastic out there, so being able to reuse it, recycle it is a good thing because there's a large supply of it.
Yes.
So now the important thing is that Lego is made from ABS plastic.
Which is... What does the ABS stand for?
Oh.
Acrylic-based substance.
No.
I've just made that up. Shall I Google it?
A cyclodrift. I can't remember. It's definitely styrene at the end. And is it bromine?
Acrylonitrile butadiene.
Butadiene.
Butadiene styrene.
Yeah.
I'm glad we worked that out.
Yes.
ABS.
ABS. So ABS plastic is harder. So it creates a more rigid structure.
Yeah.
And so that's what Lego is struggling with. They're struggling to take PET plastic and make it hard enough to be used for the bricks.
Yeah.
And essentially they've gone, well, we can do it, but it uses so much energy and it produces so much carbon that it's worse
In the long
than
run.
using the ABS.
And I think it's quite nice that they held their hands up and said, we could do it, but it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because there seems to be quite a lot of get rid of plastic or do recycle plastic, but there are quite a few people who sort of think about it and like, maybe it's not the right thing to do. And for image-wise, it would have been... They would have probably come off better if they'd done it, if they hadn't told us that it was bad, kind of thing. Like, people would go, oh yeah, they're using recycled plastic. Like, people wouldn't look into it enough and go, oh, actually, that's worse.
I don't know. I think
maybe they
from what they're saying, it would be obviously worse.
Right.
So the important thing to point out is that this isn't the only way Lego was trying to improve the sustainability of the plastics. So for ABS, what they were looking at is using taking it directly from plants.
Yes. And now we had a little chat in our private WhatsApp group, not WhatsApp group, Instagram group or whatever. And I think you really explained how you shouldn't have to worry about getting ABS from plants.
Yes.
Because you essentially said it's the same stuff, it's just we're bypassing the making the plants into oil. Because that's how oil is made, right?
Yeah.
It's the decaying of living
plants,
matter, essentially.
Yeah. Decomposed into oil. That oil is then turned into plastic. So what they're doing...
skipping that part.
Yeah. So all ABS comes from plants as the source. They're just trying to take the plants and not have to produce oil.
Yeah.
Because you can't produce oil anymore.
Why can't you produce oil anymore?
It's to do with enzymes that didn't exist at the time that allowed it to decompose into oil, whereas now the enzymes would decompose it into other things instead. So you wouldn't get oil.
So that's why we're losing fossil fuels, because we have new enzymes.
Yeah.
This is a science lesson for me. Just to clarify, just because it's plant-based doesn't mean you can eat it if you're a vegan.
Yeah.
It's still plastic. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yes, it is still non-edible.
Yeah.
It's not poisonous.
Yeah, but it's not edible.
Yeah.
So, in the long run, that's perfectly fine for them to make plant-based plastics.
Yep.
And we shouldn't worry about it.
We shouldn't worry about it. And so ABS plastic can be recycled. It's not as easy to recycle as PET, but it can be done.
But I still feel like worrying about whether your Lego bricks can be recycled is the wrong choice. Just pass them down.
No, but the point is that therefore you can make Lego out of recycled ABS because you can recycle it.
So what else is made out of ABS other than Lego bricks?
Anything that's kind of rigid plastic. So a lot. It's used a lot in
computer keyboards.
Yep. Laptop cases.
Protective
a lot of the
housing.
vapes will use it.
Oh really? Protective housing for power tools. It says.
Yeah.
There you go. Pipes. Vacuum construction.
Yeah. So it's used for a lot of different things.
So, yeah.
But it's not the things. Well,
keep your Lego. Recycle those other things.
If you ignore vapes, ABS is not really used in single-use things or things that are used short-term. So, like bottles, vapes. You drink, you throw away.
I mean, I don't vape. You don't vape. I don't know much about vapes, but surely those aren't single-use. Or the canisters, you're saying.
You get some vapes which are. They have a built-in battery and they do 200, 400 puffs, and then that's it. The battery's gone and you throw it away.
I love measuring puffs.
Yes. Yeah. So there are disposable vapes, and I think the plastic ones of those are ABS. Sometimes it'll be that actually the inside is metal, and then they just use PET to give it kind of a nicer outer look. Yeah, so that's why there's less ABS around to be recycled, and it's why it's harder to recycle it because there's no one putting in the money to build the recycling centres.
Right. PET, what does that stand for? Sorry, I just like to be mean to you.
I can't remember.
I was going to guess polyurethane, but it's not. It's polyethylene terephthalate. Terephthalate.
Yeah.
This plastic stuff is hard work.
It is.
Okay, sorry. PET. That's what it is. So, we haven't heard much about the green side of Lego for a while.
No.
We were complaining that their sustainability charts are all still from the point where they made the bottle. So it is nice to hear an update. It felt kind of like they went, look what we did! And then they were just riding on that coattail kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, we were amazing. Whereas now they're like, we have been doing stuff. Turns out it wasn't so good. And we stopped. And that's good.
And they did invest a hell of a lot of money into trying it.
Yeah, so that's well done to them.
So that is one of the things. We do talk about how expensive Lego is, but obviously there are cases where they are using that money for good. So other companies, like smaller companies, can do it cheaper because they're not spending that huge amount of money in R&D on how you recycle the bricks.
Yeah. So. And really, we want them to be doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Although we don't really want to be paying for it in our Lego sets.
Yes.
We want them to just fund that themselves.
Yes. Well, the other thing that we keep hearing and people keep talking about is the CMFs in boxes.
Oh, yes.
And there's a lot of people going, no, they'll go back to bags or they'll go to paper bags.
They're not going
to go back to plastic. They've made the commitment. There's no way they're going back to plastic.
Yeah. They're unlikely to go to paper bags because
they spent a lot of time researching it. They spent a lot of time testing it. And yes, you can get paper bags on the front of a magazine.
But those aren't felt up. You know what's inside.
You know what's inside. You might give a bit of a squeeze, but you're not going to do it to the extent that you do for a CMF to try and identify what they are. They do not cope with it. They would not survive. And also, even if the bag stays intact, it will look awful. And shops aren't going to want to have that on shelves.
Yeah. I think the only thing they could conceivably do to stop the madness is to make them identifiable, or like what's inside. But I also don't see them ever doing that because that's kind of the not the point of a blind bag.
Yeah.
A luck based thing. So people either have just got to get over it, or they're going to start putting them in like the security cases, so you can't do it.
Yeah, so I mean, we already know that there are stores out there where they've moved them behind the counter, or they're behind glass doors that you have to get someone to unlock, or in some cases they're in little protective boxes, so you have to take them up and, you know, they use the magnets to unlock the box and get it out. So we might see more of that going on. What I find interesting is that people seem to feel it's okay to rip open a box to see what's in it, because they couldn't feel for it. But for some reason, they didn't think of ever just walking around with scissors and cutting the top off the bags to look in.
Well, that's the thing, because you have to be prepared for that, whereas this is a lot easier to do it quickly and without really planning. I think also it's weird the number of people who are actually buying the figures after they've been opened. I saw on one of the websites I'm on someone saying that they'd lost the face because someone had already opened it and they didn't check what was in there, so they bought a whole figure apart from the face because it had fallen out or something.
Right.
It's like, why would you do that? But then it's when you come along to the CMF stand and they're all open, you could start looking to find the one you want, but then you feel, now someone's going to think, I did this. And it's like, the best thing to do would be to like gather them all up and take them to the till and like, oh, I found them like this, but also I want to buy some, can I have a quick look?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still believable, but...
It's interesting, we have heard of at least one store where they have a stock of them behind the till.
Yeah. And so they have to do swapsies as opposed to you can buy the one you want. Is that how it works?
So they can go, look, this is what we've got. If you buy one and it's not what you want, you can swap it for one of the ones that we have.
And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because they can't sell the opened one. Is that what it is? That they can't sell something that's already been opened. But you can buy your own, open it, and then swap it. I think we should suggest that to our local store, because I think that would be good.
It seems like a sensible way to do it.
Yeah.
And of course,
because there are people who don't have the friends to swap with. And I'm not saying I'm one of those, because I do have the friends to swap with, but all of them have annoyingly bought a full box. Yeah. And I can't swap with them. It's like, grr! So I have people that I could swap with, but they didn't want to waste their time with it. So, such is life.
But I think the other criticism that we see a lot is that people are upset that you don't know what you're getting with a CMF.
You don't know what you're getting with a relationship when you, like, there are bigger things you take risks on. Like, oh, I've met this guy in the pub, I think he's great. Turns out he's a serial killer. Yeah. Oh, there's a box that I don't know what's inside. No, it's too much for me, I have to look inside. Like, just accept that it's stuff you don't know what's going to be in there.
But also,
it's not that big a thing.
There are other kind of blind bag things aimed
so
at kids
many.
that are so expensive.
So many, and it's all rubbish inside. At least you get a minifigure at the end of this.
Yeah.
And you always get something that's worth... What, is that the case? Are they putting the same effort into every single figure in the series, and therefore everything you get out of that is worth the £3.50 you paid?
That's the interesting question, is it? If they made them so it was identifiable and you could say which ones...
Yeah, would they have a whole bunch that would never get bought?
I mean, there's going to be the ones which are ridiculously popular. And we've seen that with pretty much every CMF series. There's one or two that a lot of people want, and they're hard to then get on the aftermarket and stuff. The question is whether you'd have, like, the one or two that aren't wanted at all.
So there are two different types of people, aren't there? The ones that... Well, there's three maybe, I guess. The ones that want to get every single one. So if only those people were buying, then every figure would do exactly the same, because everyone would be trying to get a full set. There's the ones who want a specific one because that's their favourite character and that's the only one they're going to buy. And then there's the resellers who are looking for the ones that are the most popular to sort of sell on. Yeah. So they aren't going to buy all of them, are they? They're going to look for the most popular ones.
Depends if they can get them cheap.
Yeah. Cheap. I think just take the risk, and if it's not what you want, stick it on Bricklink or stick it on eBay or find someone to swap it with.
It will be interesting to see if more Lego shows start having
a swap
tables. Yeah. You know, I think that's where it gets more fun as well.
Even if they don't have a swap table, just like attach them onto you somehow and go looking for swaps and walk around the Lego show.
Yeah.
And eventually someone will either attack you and steal all your minifigures from you, or they'll say, "Oh yeah, I want to swap that one,"
Yeah.
and it will become a thing. Like
Yes.
so it just has to be enough people to start. It doesn't need to be official.
True.
Just wear your figs.
Yeah.
So, I think it's fine. And they're not going back to plastic.
No. Okay, so our next topic is the wonderful, wonderful topic that comes up over and over again. Gift with purchases.
Yeah.
We've not talked about them before.
No. It's sold out. Why does that not mean it's sold out?
What do you mean?
Did they make more? Or did
Shall we talk more about the topic so people who may not have seen this?
The Disney CMF, no. The Disney gift for purchase that was sold out in America in less than a day, was it?
I think it was in
Maybe
a couple of days.
Yeah. And everyone was totally bummed about not getting. And people were going out and getting extra in the UK because they're like, we can sell this on. It's now back.
Yeah.
And is it back because they found some down the back of the sofa? I doubt that. Or did they do another production run? Like, did they plan a production run?
So
They've got to plan production runs, surely.
Yes, they do. We know that they plan them well in advance because we saw with the Bricklink Designer Programme when they accidentally sold too many Castle
in the Forest.
In the Forest, they said, well, we can't do the next run for this much longer, so that's when we will do it. So some people will get it at this point and other people will have to wait quite a while.
Yeah.
Because it is, there's a tight schedule. They can't just change what they're doing quickly.
So they know that they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
So it's dickish, really.
So, but as we said, so this is the little projector one.
Yes.
So
there are rumours there's going to be another one. This little Steamboat Willie one. That was the gift of purchase, isn't it? Yeah,
there's rumours about that. But so the important thing about the projector one is that it does have the light brick. And that's not a piece that is printed normally. It's not, they just change the moulds over in the machine and set it printing. Why are you looking down your top like a crazy person?
Trying to work out if it's glow in the dark.
Okay.
I can't work it out.
So showing the cameras off.
Do you think it's not glow in the dark, is it?
No.
No, okay. Carry on.
Right. So it could be that they can only get a certain number of light bricks done at a time and they're just a slower thing to produce.
Right.
And they go into a lot of sets. You've got to remember that the Winter Village set always has a light brick in it. We've got the Indiana Jones sets with light bricks in. We've got all these sets coming. So it could just be that was the bottleneck. They carry on producing the bricks and then they've just got a lot of sets waiting for a light brick to be added.
But would it not, relieve some of the pressure and the public outcry to go, yeah, that's going to come back later? Or is that ruining their profit margins and things?
Why do they want to do that?
Because people are sad. Not nice.
Why are people sad?
Because they think they're not going to get something.
But they're now happy because they can get something that they thought they'd missed out on.
Yeah, but if they went out of their way to buy it on the secondary market for like £200, they'll be extra cross that it's come back, surely.
Yeah, but the number of people who do that's actually quite small, isn't it, really?
I don't know. I don't think I would do it because I don't trust Lego not to bring it back again.
Oh, yes.
Because it seems to be like a thing that's continual. Like the Houses of the World ones, I'm like, oh, I really must get that before it goes. And then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, it's back again.
Yeah. They like to just mess with you sometimes.
They do. But then there'll be that one time that they don't mess with us and they don't bring it back.
Yeah.
And you miss out because you've fallen for it so many times. You're like, no, not this time. And they're like, ha ha ha. It's not nice. I think it's rude. I think they should stop doing that.
But part of it is that they want to create that panic.
I know.
They want people to go out and buy a set that they should wait to get on discount just because there's a gift with purchase that they might want and they might not be able to get it in the future.
Yeah.
That's what they want people to be doing.
But it's not the best.
From whose point of view?
The people.
Okay.
It's all about the people.
All about the people.
Yeah.
But then they make more money and they can research recyclable materials more.
Yeah. I don't like it. Bothers me.
I know. But that means that there's a gift with purchase that we don't need.
True. And there's the Houses of the World at the same time as well. So we are good to not buy Lego for a bit, is what we're saying, because there's no gift with purchases that we want.
Sounds
Plus,
like a
we've
plan.
got a cupboard full of Lego, so...
Yes, we do.
Facebook, or Mark Zuckerberg, is using Lego to tease the upcoming MetaConnect 2023. What is MetaConnect? Is that
MetaConnect is the annual
like Facebook event?
Facebook Mark Zuckerberg saying people how good the Metaverse is, and that the fact that it lost over $20 billion last year isn't an issue.
Whoops.
But it's still massive loss, which is expected, to be fair.
Right.
It was always said it was a very long-term investment.
Yeah.
They're unlikely to see profits for like 10 years kind of thing.
So what do you think Lego has got to do with it? Why have they got Lego?
I don't know. Maybe you can build Lego in the Metaverse.
Is that not just like using Studio?
Will you be in VR?
Is that what the Metaverse is?
Yes.
I don't know what the Metaverse is.
Okay.
So like, I have to put a headset on to be in it.
Well, kind of. So I can't remember the name of it. The big Metaverse game that exists, I think they're expected to announce that will be available on PC and mobile devices.
So hang on, you're saying it's not like Studio because you actually would feel like you're picking up the bricks. So
you wouldn't feel like you're picking up the bricks because you can't feel them.
No, but like your hands would be involved.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't get the tactile element.
Yeah.
But that might be better for me because I really struggle with Studio.
I don't know. But it might not be that. It might just be that it's, they've ported one of the Lego games to VR, which would be fun.
Yeah. But not as exciting as...
But that...
Because you could build every set without actually having to buy the set.
Yep. Well, it depends
Would
if you
it be-
have to
would
pay
it
for
feel
the
the same?
bricks in the Metaverse.
So I'm picking up a brick and then I'm putting it on my build and I can see where I'm putting it.
And it goes click when you put it in.
Would it make the click noise? Or would you just have the minifig who's sat there going click, click, click?
Yes.
I think you need the tactileness of Lego. Lego's... But then it does open up bigger options for planning out mocks if that's more intuitive to you. Like I struggle
the other
with Studio.
thing is whether you could, zoom in on it and walk around the creation.
That would be cool.
So
we could go in our city.
Yeah.
But we'd have to build our city out of
Yeah.
the Metaverse bricks as opposed to... Yeah, that would be a pain.
Because you assume that Metaverse bricks are free.
Oh, what? The charging for bricks you don't even get to keep?
They
But
might.
I don't like the idea of that.
That's how the online community works. You pay for stuff that isn't real.
What?
What?
What? You pay for stuff that's not real?
Yeah.
So you get nothing at the end of it?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't understand the concept of that.
You know,
No. Like, I do.
like people buying skins in games.
Didn't they get in trouble for that? The Fortnite have to give loads of people money back because they charged too much for skins or something.
I don't know.
It didn't affect me, so I'm probably okay.
No.
But I'm sure I saw something pop up on my feed.
Yeah.
I didn't click it.
My guess would be that it's more along the lines of games going into VR. Because for one thing, the graphics works well in VR. So a lot of the people complain about... I can't remember what the Metaverse game is called. But people complain about the fact that the graphics are a bit rubbish.
Right.
You want the Metaverse to be photorealistic kind of thing. And it's not in any way.
Right.
So the Lego games in there would fit with what is...
the level of graphics because you're not expecting those to look like real because it's Lego. Yeah.
I think the other thing is, it could either be, a port of one of the existing games, could be a new game, it could be the 2K drive moving into VR.
Well, so you'd get in your cars.
Yeah.
You've got VR, but we never use it.
I used it. Well, I didn't really use it. I turned it on a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
I had a free £4 credit thing, and so I turned it on to see if I could find anything worth £4 that I wanted, and I went no, because it's expensive to buy this virtual stuff.
Yeah, it's true. But then everything's expensive. What's wrong with the world these days? Not like in my day.
No. Too many avocados, that's the problem.
Yeah. I had 2 avocados today. But that's because they were bad. So I had half of each.
Okay.
So that's probably okay. Anywho.
So, yep, that's the Lego news that we've heard. If there's anything exciting that we've missed, let us know. We might cover it in another episode. Other than that, we will be back next week for another exciting episode.
But in the meantime, if you want to listen to old ones...
Yep, you can find them in playlists, in other things, in places that I don't know about.
Yeah, just down the back of your sofa. Yeah.
Just Google it, see what you find.
Yeah. Maybe don't. Don't Google things we told you to Google. We've talked about this before.
So we will catch you next week for another exciting episode of the podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Lonnie, you go first.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Okay, you can switch it.